Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. A company isn't going to hire you just because they like your soft skills. If you want to become a scientist, then you're going to have to understand chemistry. If you want to become a doctor, then you're going to have to understand what is the human anatomy and all kinds of theory that isn't going to be natural to you just from soft skills alone. Even if you have Google, even if you have ChatGPT, none of that is actually credible sources. None of that is actually a textbook that has been filtered to millions of experts in the field. We tell you that if proposition wants to win this debate by saying to you that like, oh, you should be able to get a good job even without a degree, then we tell you that that's not a winning burden to them. We push all of the burden to re-clarify this debate onto their second speaker. Couple keynotes of reframing then. Firstly, what does the emphasis actually look like? We tell you that a big example I can pinpoint is the QS World Ranking rating employability as one of the key factors in determining a university's ranking, right? They are able to determine a college's employability rates by simply going through the harsh data on the number of students who are already like having a job by the time they graduate. This can also look like the universities listing on their website what companies they have partnerships with, what internship opportunities they're going to provide towards their students, and a list of where their alumni has gone to work after graduation, right? All of which is to just tell people and tell the students that is attending the university that, hey, our employability rate is very good. But secondly, what's the function and what is the point of a higher education in the very first place? I give you three main functions. Firstly, for you to study and for you to be able to make your knowledge a lot better. But secondly, it also works as a research center. Many students perform research and also like find some type of like research and innovation and etc. But thirdly and most importantly, it is to get you a job and give you a push to actually step into a correct adult life to begin with. Is to prepare you into adult life, is to prepare you into becoming a working member of society. One big rebuttal before going into my arguments. Whenever they told you that the general people don't have access to high-level jobs because they don't go to college, I just want to point out the logical fallacy here. Of course, a high-level job or a hard job is like going to be gate-kept and locked behind a degree because these are experts that need to be heavily educated and licensed to even begin with, right? A doctor's job impacts millions of people, hundreds of people's lives, and those type of jobs are like important enough so that they have to have some type of qualification to be able to get that job in the very first place. Even if we don't want to be extreme and talk about doctors, even working as HR or someone in a company, an example, you need to be able to have the ability to work with technology, how to code, how to simply just like use this type of like technology that is only going to be taught to you through college. Like, sure, we tell you that there are a couple select few that do know how to do that even if they don't take a degree. But we tell you that a vast majority of people are probably not going to be that disciplined to even like buy a course or something like that. And one of the most natural ways for an average human being to be able to learn those type of things, how to be like someone working in an office, how to be someone working in a general normal job to even begin with, is going to be taught to them when they go to college, right? But even if you want to have more people having jobs, I question the quality of these workers anyways, because P1's entire speech is saying that higher education isn't important. Proposition's actual burden is to prove why college will be better without the emphasis of employability, not about how employers should bypass higher education. It's the other way around, guys. Two arguments then. Firstly, on why employability is one of the university's biggest promise to you. Premise of this is simple because you spend a lot of money to go to college. You invest a lot of your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears to go to college and to attend that institution, right? The least the university can do for you is guarantee that after you graduate from college, then you don't have to scour throughout the job field and that you already have a job secured to you after you graduate. Because I do agree with P1 that this world is becoming increasingly more capitalistic, right? Exactly, the world is capitalistic. Employability should be your number one priority. I take you out of the debate world because if I was someone fresh out of SMI and looking for a university, the university I would want to go into is a university that can guarantee my future job security and to guarantee that I'm not in a homeless shelter, right? Because everyone, regardless of what their major is fears the fact that they might be unemployed, fears the fact that they might not be able to get a job after they graduate from college, right? And we tell you that the practical aspects of simply landing a job is far more important than any textbook can give you, because it doesn't matter if you're very textbook smart. We tell you that if your university doesn't have any connections and etc., it's still going to be super hard for you to land a job in the very first place. That's why we need the emphasis, because with the emphasis, the university cares enough to get internships for you, to find partners, and to actually make sure that, hey, our institution can be able to give you the job security that you yourself would have trouble finding without an institution backing you up, right? This flips proposition's whole case, because the only way an underprivileged person can get a job that is good is precisely through a good college, right? Otherwise, they're stuck at a low entry job because they lack connections to get a decent job. That's the sad thing, and that is the reality, that people who are born underprivileged, one of their biggest hope of being able to social climb is precisely through education, is precisely through going to college and etc., right? This is the entire point of what college is for, and proposition can't prove this. That is why we tell you that the emphasis of like having the employability towards this college is urgent to even begin with, because precisely people rely on this institution. There's a lot of people who would struggle without it if this institution didn't care for them to be able to get a job, right? This also, by the way, just gives a better way of judging what college is going to be good for you, because of course, in a practical scale, no one wants to be unemployed. You want to have that job security, right? Second argument on why quality of the education will just be better with this emphasis. I'll use P1's own framing and weaponize on it. College without the emphasis will only focus on the hard skills P1 talks about, i.e. how to perform a surgery, how to code, and etc. And the problem with this is that HR doesn't only look for hard skills. The people who design the curriculum knows that. What opposition world would look like is that the skills on how to lead a team, use basic Excel sheets, how to communicate, and etc. will be integrated into the college curriculum precisely because the college has your best interest for you to get employed. What opposition provides to you is an education that prepares you to become a fully working member of society. This is exclusive because an institution that is meh about employability won't care to go out of their way to get as many internship opportunities as they can for you. What happens is that you get a university that is only research-based, or even if we are charitable, every metric is treated as the same. But no, you can't treat employability like it's an average metric, because exactly what proposition says, employability rates are dropping and people are scared. That is why we tell you and we urge you that employability is one of the most urgent metric that you should be talking about, right? To conclude this then, under opposition, not only do you have more opportunities towards internship, so that even if you are underprivileged, you still have someone backing up you, you still have a big college to like find you opportunities and etc. But you also get a better quality of education as well, because precisely the college knows you need the soft skills. They're gonna ingrain that into the curriculum. For all those reasons, very proud to be standing on opposition today.